A smart city is a term we use these days to describe cities that have ubiquitous computing or sensing capability embedded across the landscape of the city. And it gives us the capacity to monitor all sorts of things about how people move, how objects move, how the environment is operating across the city, to gather data about it and then to analyse that data in a way that in theory can help us manage the city better. There's great promise in smart cities in terms of what that new technological capacity can allow us to do, but there are also pitfalls, and those are around things like the question of privacy, the data that we gather, who has access to it, who owns it and can use it for what purpose. There are also pitfalls around the way smart cities make us think about and understand the city. So the data we capture tends to be quantitative, it tends to focus on things we can count. We're less good at capturing things that are qualitative, like experiences and emotions about the city. But also there are questions around digital inclusion. So who has the skills and the access to the technology to actually benefit from some of the capacities it gives us. To get the best out of a smart city, I think the first priority is that the whole approach to making the city smart has to be people-centred, not technology-centred. And I think most cities are now quite conscious of that. Also, I think there has to be a lot of consultation prior to a city deciding what it wants to make smart, what it wants to apply the technology to, and for what purpose. And there also needs to be attention to that question of digital inclusion, making sure that there are programs in place to ensure that access and the skills and access to the technology is evenly spread across the population. The smart city is kind of fascinating to me because there's almost no limit to the things that the technology might allow us to do, and there's just huge capacity for the sorts of urban questions and urban issues and problems that we can apply that technology to in positive ways. But it's fascinating to me too because it's not just a question of technological determinism. This is a social and it's a political question. So how we apply those technologies, how we consult about how they should be used, and what do we apply them to are really important questions for public debate.